because if you notice, all I'm trying to do is include two notes from the chord in my right hand. And most people can play the like right hand. So Barbara Bird and all my students who play and have the right hand down, Joe, all of you have it down pat. What do I add in my left hand is what I want to answer when I do the book. So you're gonna notice that my left hand and right hand are working together. They're friends. Two notes from the chord in my left hand. So it's really that simple. So what's happening with that? Sometimes I'll pull something out and we'll show you what that is. And 1, 3, 6, 2, 7, 3, 6, 2, 5, 1. So that thing I just want to show you in a Christmas song because you know Christmas music has about 48 hours and after that you can't play a Christmas song. So don't get upset about it. It dies very, very quickly when you do that. So one of the concepts I like to give very quickly, look at the setup that I'm using. I'm using the B flat on both decks, on the top deck and the left. So if you look down, B flat is pressed. And then if you look up here, this is something my sister didn't understand, is that, you know, you have these presets here. You can pull them all out, right? I can push those 4 in. If you just push in these first 2 right here, it's a great place to start. So that I'm playing right in the center of the keyboard. So I can almost play like a piano once I push in those 2. Now that seems like it's so easy and so primary, but you'd be surprised how many people struggle with like, how do I set the organ? Before I could play organ, everybody pulled these out and we just played, everybody plays the left hand and right hand together right here. Sorry. Now it's so natural for me to pull my left hand to help. But if I didn't know how to do it and I was playing the organ, now I can play the organ like this and still. Now I gotta make my left hand not be involved. And we'll move to the next stage. You add your foot with your left hand. You may not be able to see my foot moving with my left hand. So that to me, that's the first step. So if you have my book 1 from JRJMusicProductions.com, you're going to have things like praise, and I'm going to play it just like I'm playing the piano. And notice my right hand is up here doing what's in the book, all the passing chords. So you could actually play in church like this, and nobody may not recognize that you're putting up that organ. But what I'm going to answer for you is what I'm going to eventually do with my left hand. And notice that I shift my right hand up an octave. Your question for me is, can I just play the piano down here? And yes, if you wanted to. I'm just trying to get you prepared for where we're going next, because your left hand won't be playing right here. It's going to be playing over next to your left hand, right hand. And I said I was going to use Christmas music, but I'm going to play it to the book. So if you don't have a book, please go order book 1, right? To get started with just basic hymns. It has about 30 hymns and several important styles that I want you to have, like the cadence. So begin to watch, if you like YouTube, to watch how the organist, if you have this angle, watch where the hands are. Most of the really good players, like Junior and everybody else, they're working right in slow. We're working this slow passage right here, right in front of our bodies. Not only because we're lazy, but it's just convenient to do it right here in front of our bodies like this. This minutes to learn this. I'm going to give it to you in 30 seconds. The pattern of 3-6-2-5-1, which is going to be so important later. I can't tell you how important it is. But you learn to crawl. There are two ways I like for you to look at it. If you play G and C in your left hand, that's going to be your 3, A in the bass. Your 6, just by moving to F sharp, is going to be your 6. Your 2 is going to be here, F and B flat. Your 5 is going to be E and B flat. That's a 3-6. 3 is A, D is 6, 2 is G, 5, 1. If you could do that, I mean, you move from first grade to second grade immediately. You can thank me later for this, all right? But it's 3, 6, 2, 5, 1. This is the way the organ is going to be laid out. There's another way you can do 3-6 and make it a true tritone. The word is tritone. The interval refers to a sharp 4. I can actually make it a true 3, and I call it crawling. I like this. 3, 6, 2. So a lot of times when I'm playing churchy, that's why I approach that. I'll do it again. Everything's half step, but just by changing, we would call this the 7th and the 3rd of an A minor, or A dominant 7. A dominant 7 is going to move to a D dominant 7 just by moving it chromatically. And I say crawling because if I can swap and make it smooth, look how smooth it is. Here's 2, and again, G7 with the 7 and 3rd, and the 7 and 3rd is going to collapse into the 3rd and 7 of the 5 and land on the 1. So a lot of times when we're playing very fast. So you'll hear me say 3, 6, 2, 5. I'm singing in fast time. If you'll take time, if you're a beginner or even if you're advanced and you're teaching, this will be a concept that you want to have. Now, if your students already know 3, 6, 2, 5, 1 from my book 2 at jrjmusicproductions.com, I give you this in the book. 3, 6, 2, 5, 1. The only thing is now you have left hand 3, 6, 2, 5, and all of a sudden you move from first base to second base just that quick. You got to practice this over 3, 6, 2, 5, 1. Or here's another one that's really important. 7, 3, 6. I would do 7, which is E. So I'm gonna crawl the same way.
We're in the key of what?
F.
We're in the key of F.
Doing 7, 3, 6. And I'm sorry, I get ahead. And I still think I'm going slow, and I get ahead.
Yeah. So one person asked, where can we get the book at?
jrjmusicproductions.com. jrjmusicproductions.com. There's a book 1, there's a book 2, and there's a book 3. And you might look up there and see if there are any questions or comments, Jay, from them. But 7, so for my 7, I have G sharp and D. I'm going to crawl all the way back to do 7, which is E, 3, which is A, 7, 3, 6, 2, 5, 1. But a lot of times we'll collapse when we do 7, 3, 6. So the 6 will be regular. So when I'm doing the whole phrase of 7, 3, 6, 2, 5, 1, 4, I'll land on the 6 like this and just move one finger for the 2. Then flat 7 over 5, 1, 7, and 4. That's a very important move. I'm going to use it in hymns, I use it in R&B, I use it in gospel, I use it for everything I'm playing. When I can go 7, and I'll do it again slowly. Because I know most people go too fast for me on YouTube. I wish they would go slower. So there's no way you can go wrong. G sharp and D, or A flat and D. This is a 7, 3, 6, which is FAC. So it's like a D dominant 7. Then I'm going to move one finger to B natural, right, to get my 2. Flat 7 over 5, I'm going to take that down a step. So it's E flat and G and B flat. And this is the way the book is lined up. So you have exercises. For me, you go 7, 3. Now, your question for me, thank you for asking, is fingering. So, a lot of times I recommend using the most stable. To me, I can rely on the thumb, these two and this one. This one is probably the least cooperative because it's just odd and different. But if I only had 2, I like to crawl. And when I say crawl, that just makes it smooth. If I can swap my ring finger, my thumb, to now my pinky and my index, see, for me that's smooth. sometimes people find it hard to believe. In book 2, however, you may see me do something like this: 7, 3, 6, 2, which is the same thing I'm doing with one hand, but my left hand is free. The reason why this is so important is because if I have this here, 7, 3, 6, 2, plus 7, 5, 1, 7. I'll give you just one of the examples out of book 2. There's a thing called major minor move, where I use F major, G minor, F major, G minor, and I'm inverting this chord. F A C, G B flat D, A C F, B flat D G. Same thing over and over. So I can go, which I use over and over. So a good question for me would be like, well, what if my hands are too close? Then separated, don't start so low. Like I did that because I've been playing forever. But I would start reposition F with my 7. And see how there's tension that is not resolved. To me, the tension is on until you get there. But 7 is meant to be. And our music, 7 is very intense. And that's why I tell people 736 is so important. Some people slide by it and don't do it. So even if you're advanced, try adding what I'm suggesting to you to what you already do. So I have to tell people that because people say, well, he only wants me to do it one way. No, I just want you to have options for doing it. Because sometimes the song wants this tension. So when you say, Jesus, you are, look how tension. The center of my joy. I'm only concentrating on the 7. See how much tension is created? And if you're a singer, the singers feel freer to do some other stuff. I'm an instrumentalist, I feel free to do other stuff because the 7 and the 3 and the 6, sharp 4. I know I explained all of that part, but my main focus to give you as a gold nugget is the 3, 6, 2, 5, 1, and the 7, 3, 6, 2, 5, 1. So if I'm playing a Christmas song and I want to do something, I can't tell you not. I'll stay in F just because of that. But if you give me another one, I'll show you. Come on, ye 5. Here's the 1. Now this is book 1. My book 1, line 1. If you know that page, it's page 13. Look how I have a CFA. Those of you who already have a book know this is the first chord you learn. The first thing I want to do is include 2 notes, F, A, B, G. All I'm doing is I'm adding these to make it, the family is larger. The chord's nice and it's good. I'm adding just 2 notes under that. So I took the 2 notes off the top and put them on the bottom. So now I sound more mature and you can't tell where the chord starts. So, anytime you can do that. So if you have book 1, there's a lesson right there. So in the song it goes, joyful. I want you to see where I stole it from. Here's my 7, 3, 6. Now I'm in C. Now here's a run that's in book 2, which is the Mixolydian. I just have to practice 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Here's 3. Here's the same 3 we just talked about. 3, 6. I stepped out of bounds. But I want you to see how often I use these passive 3, 6. This is like a flat 6 over 2. 1 over 5. Here this is again. Here it is again. Look how many times I use the same thing. Here's a 2, 5, which is going to be part of the book in the organ book. How many times do we do 2 and 5? You cover 2 and 5 just by F, B, B flat. 6, 2. Now here's a fat 7. If I want to do something. I'm sorry, I should be playing more. But I'm trying to give this away to you so your playing will improve. But there's no shortcut besides playing. Gabe, what's up, Ryder? So good to see you on the other song. I'm just teaching a little lesson. Crazy about Christmas music. So if you want to hear a Christmas song, let me know what it is. And if I know it, I'll make Junior play it, okay? If I don't, yeah. So, because I'm here at Junior's house in his studio. He has an amazing studio. The only guy I know who has 3 Hammond organs in his house. 3, not 1, but 3. Okay, I digress. Okay, those. Some people love, so here's this thing. I've been doing Old Holy Night. So, here's the thing. I'm putting myself on the spot in front of everybody. I was telling him the part that throws a lot of musicians is this part. And he appeared in the storm. That part where they have to do. So I'm trying to go to a major third above, but I'm gonna make it a minor chord.
Greetings from Sweden, all the way from Sweden.
Wow.
Europe.
Get out of here. Okay. This is Holy Night. 1-7. 4. Change much about it. I'm gonna try to stay and be nice. Thank you. Gayla said Merry Christmas. Now here I am. I'm cold, but I need a minor on the major third. Y'all see me do that? Which almost ironically, and it's gonna be too deep for some people. It's a 7-3-6. And C major. I will tell you, when you learn this stuff, it's going to be more than one key. 6, 2, 5, 1, 7, 3, 6, 3. I stay right here with 3, the thing I showed you earlier, 6, 2, 5, but I can alter my right hand. I was going to do something. I get bored with my left hand, so I try to make it more fun. Same thing over. 1, 3, 4, 3, 6, 2, 6, 2, 5. Plus 705, 1, 7, 4, 3. See how we get bored because we do the same thing? So the other thing is going to have is level, that's level 1. Level 2 is going to have 3 notes. 4 notes for the chord, 4 notes for the 2, 5, and I have variations of that. And I can also do the tritone substitution on the 6. So 3, 6, instead of doing D, I can do A flat and it changes the color. I can also borrow something to get me back. So I have a 3, 6, what's up, man? I wish you were here to sing.
Hold on. Go back to 3-6. 3. Yeah, then you just yeah. Yeah. What you play over there?
So it's a 2. I'm doing the tritone of the 2.
Yeah. I just wanted that.
Okay.
I wanted that. Okay.
So it's a 3. Thank you. So we use the tritone of the 6, right? Now, what's the 5? I'm talking 3, 6, 2 would be G, right? Right. Thank you. 2. So 3, 6. Instead of doing the 2 right here, I'm doing the tritone of 2, which would be D flat, and I'm altering it slightly. But that's where it came from. 3, 6. The tritone of G is D flat,
which is 4 and 8 flat. That's how do you treat it? C sharp major 9.
Yeah.
D flat major 9.
6/9.
6/9.
Yeah.
How do you treat it with that?
I still treat it like it's a 2. Yeah, it's cold, bro. 3.
Go to a G flat major 7.
I'm treating this actually, everybody. The run I'm doing with this is a minor blues scale.
Okay.
I feel comfortable doing that because everything in the kitchen sink is in it that would cover that. So I'm using the F minor blues scale.
Okay.
To fill up.
So what do you call it when you start on another note but it's still F minor blues scale? Starting on E flat.
So each one of those has a different name.
Oh, okay.
Without being too complicated and leaving everybody. So, but technically I could start on the F. If I start on the A flat, it's called something. If I start on the B flat, if I call it B. So I encourage you though, to make a long story shorter, if you know a run like the F minor blues, I would take it starting on the root, 3, 2, 1. That's what's in book 2. I suggest starting it like this. I suggest doing 3, 2, 1.
Oh, just wrong
3, 2, 1, 4, 3, 2, 1. Then I like to go to A flat. And I always like to turn. So if I turn it, if I go. So if I can turn back and do 5, whenever I have 5 in a row, I like to turn back. And that's why my runs sound like I'm doing more than I'm doing. But technically all I'm doing is elongating. And what I love about this is the same thing that I can use in gospel, a hymn. I'm showing you in hymns. And I'll close out because this is a long time, but I didn't mean to do this. But, so if I do 6, not like just 7. That's a 7 that's not supposed to be there. That's supposed to be 7, 3, 6. But to me, it creates enough interest to keep me going up because I'm only there for a second. I'll do that one more time. I start on 4. You hear people do that? 7. 7, 1, 2. Sorry. I got happy. Now, what's the run I'm doing? Thank you for asking.
Yeah.
I'm on G minor. So everything I can find, 2, 3, 4, 5, all that's in the book too. I tried to give it away because I kept being around these musicians like Junior who could play, but they wouldn't explain to me what they like. I was like, what did you do and why did you do that? And so my books answer those questions so you're not struggling your whole life. And so it's fresh when you hear it. That's the pentatonic triplets. And I tell you, if you learn one key, you're going to learn it for 2 or 3 keys because these apply in each of the keys. So you're not just learning it for F major, you're learning it for D minor, you're learning it for other keys that relate to that. Anything related, somebody said that in the comments about relating something to another key. This is what I'm saying. I use this all the time. I can use it in flat.
What?
What's this? I'll say, what did his transition with augmented chords come from? Oh, okay. Where did the
Your fascination.
Oh, fascinated with augmented chords come from? Okay, so my background has a lot of, if you can't tell, I studied formally. I learned to read, which I'm trying to get everybody to do. I'm still on junior about the same thing. Because reading, you're going to see some of this stuff, and you see it in there, and you're just like, how can I put that into what I do? But I'm fascinated with jazz. So I'm crazy about jazz. And jazz uses a lot of diminished chords, augmented chords, half diminished. And then in church, we use a lot of these. So we use a lot of dominant 7, a lot of tension chords. What do we add and why do we add it? So when we talk about doing 1, 3, 4, plus 4, which is total diminished. 1 over 5, right? 6, here's the same 6, 2 we were talking about. Now, we're doing a lot of these. It will be like a G7, sharp 5, sharp 9. What I try to do without getting too deep and losing anybody, I make you experience it. So one of the things here's something I thank you for asking that question. I'm gonna give you something in advance of the book, so hopefully you still get the book. But let me just talk to you, because in book 1 I talk about the most important chords. I call them Jacks 14. I showed my sister this. So I do this thing called 3, 4, plus 4, 5, 6, 7. So if you have the book, I have this, right? These are preaching chords. This is what I do for shout music. Same thing, 6, 7, right?
What page is this on?
Now,
What page is this on?
Let me show you where it is in book 1. Okay, it's called the eight church. Thank you for giving me that, challenging me with that, because I always talk about these because the book is just so. Not the church group. It's the next page. Right here, 8 church moves. Right here.
This is the Dr. Jackson.
Yeah, 8 church moves. You got G in the bass with E flat chord. Then you got the 4. Then you got plus 4. Then you got 1 over 5. And then you got 6, flat 7. 7. And then 1, right? Now, watch this. What I'm giving you in the organ book is, I'm going to give you a tritone to go with each one. So I'm going to do tritone. Now, look how you move from first base to second base just by adding a tritone. Now, here's the tritone with the 4. For the diminish, I'm going to double both hands. For the 1 on the 5, I'm going to double. Now, when I get to the 6, I'm going to come back into the tritones, E and B flat. You play that chord, you'll get hired next Sunday. Just walk in church. Like, hey, you play for my church. I can tell you how many people do.
Hey, but you got to tell them that ain't all they need is that chord.
Please don't do it.
Because that'd be the point. Come on, tell them that ain't.
Okay, all right.
That chord will get you hired, but.
Hey, it won't keep you.
Yeah.
It'll get you hired, but it won't keep you. But now, you'd be surprised how many musicians I run into. They bad in one key, or they bad with one of the progression, and they hired. But then you're gonna be frustrated because that's all you have. So you got. So I'm making light of it, but seriously, y'all, this right here. So when I get people who are ready to move to the organ, but they know the 8 church moves already, I just add. So when I say glory, glory. Watch my left hand. I never moved it out of this position. 6, 2, glory.
Just a left hand.
7, 3, Kids don't treat me.
Oh yeah.
Like they used to. Since some people taking organ lessons from me, we be working on this. I worry as much about your right hand. I mean, most people who play already have strong. Well, the right hand is better than the left hand. I'll put it like that. Since I lay over and over, and these are all tritones in your left hand. That's when you hear Junior every Sunday morning when he's going live. I'm not minimizing what he's doing, but I want you to understand the function of his left hand is a support. It's the foundation that holds everything together. And the better you are, Green neighborhoods, all this in one.
They said explain the tritone in the left hand a little more in depth, if you don't mind.
Tritone. Thank you so much. So, if you know intervals, you know that.
So
let me make it easy. From C to F.
So what is a tritone?
It's called a perfect fourth, right? So every scale.
Elaine Smith, yes.
It's called an interval.
Uh-huh.
So the interval is C to D is a second, C to E is a third, F is a perfect fourth, G is a perfect fifth, right?
All right, one more time.
When we talk about tritones, we're talking about distance intervals from one note to the other.
Uh-huh.
We're talking about the tritone is a certain level. You know, I explain intervals to my beginning students like this. If my house is here and your house is next door, that's a second. But if you skip a house, that's a third.
Uh-huh.
If you skip another house, that's a fourth, right?
Correct.
Skip another house, you're fifth, just like that.
Yes.
All right, there's a house in between the fourth and the fifth house.
Mm-hmm. And what is that house called?
It's called a tritone house.
Oh, okay.
So any note, start on any note. If I start on a scale and I do from G, the next house will be a second, the third house will be a third, the fourth house will be a fourth. That house in between the fifth, the fourth and the fifth is called the tritone.
So 3 whole steps.
Yeah. You can call it 1, 2, 3. Yes. 3 whole steps.
Okay.
Yeah, so that's a tritone.
Okay.
So I like to use tritones to crawl, and you can use it. If I'm on A and I'm using, this is the tritone that goes with it, then I want to go to D. Well, I collapse that. Now my 7 and third becomes the third and 7, because D, the third is F sharp, the 7 is C. Then if I collapse it again to G, then my 7 becomes a 3 and 3 with 7. So G7, I have the F and the B. Then for the 5, the third and 7 is E and B flat. The 11, and it goes all the way around. So I like to do.
So are they switching from third to seventh in the first?
Thirds and sevens moves to
are
switches.
switches. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that's exchange.
Okay.
Yeah, when you're doing tritone.
Okay.
When I said, since I lay, my third is 7, third is 7 of F, third is 7 of the 6, then of the 2, then of the 5, to 1.
Yeah, so that E flat tritone is actually also a tritone.
It's also an A tritone.
So each tritone has 2 names.
And guess what?
What?
The tritone of A is. What's the tritone of A?
That is the tritone, ain't it?
And what is it? E flat.
Yeah.
Ironically.
Okay.
Yeah. That you asked me that. I just want to make sure you were the
Okay. Yeah, I got you.
Yeah, I just want to make sure.
What are you trying to trick me up here?
I'm trying to make sure you was.
Okay, all right, I'm woke.
So the tritone, get
Okay.
Because we do use it. That's what I'm saying. You will see some of
Okay.
the stuff crossing up together.
Okay.
Just like that. But it's important. So for me, so when I do I know the Lord, tritone, we'll make a way to the two, tritone, oh yes, see, I'm back to there, right? Now for my 4, I come down a half step to pick up my
How does it ironically just work with those songs, just half step of us moving? You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, it's a jazz, and they teach it in jazz all the time. It's just, I'm trying to give gospel the kind of respect that jazz has. It's like jazz musicians, if they're real good, they understand this very, very well. But in gospel, a lot of people do it, but they don't explain it very well. They explain it, but they may not have the theory behind it or the confidence to maybe share that. But they play it all the time. So many of the guys, and they play it and you're impressed by it. But I'm trying to see how I can get more people on the Ferris wheel to ride with us. So if you're interested, you may just get one thing out of the day. You may get 3, 6, 2, 5, 1, and you better than you were before. But if you can get to tritones, just start with one. Just start with A in the bass, and G and C sharp. It's G and C sharp, right? And just go down by half steps, and take everything down by half steps, just to get used to practicing on them. Now, I find people who can understand them, but can't apply them. And so I try to find a balance between those two. So you're not just being able to talk about them, but you can play them. So I try to get you to apply them all the way around the keyboard. So one of your exercises may be to take a C.
You gospel guys improvs with harmony as fast as ran his list.
So look at this chord I have for you. E, B flat, I promise it's the last name. E, B flat, G, G, C. I'm going to take this around by half steps. Take everything up by half step. Everything by half step.
One more time, give them that note.
So, I got E and B flat in my left hand, C in foot, D, G, C.
And what chord is that?
Just a C9. That's considered to be a C9.
A C9?
Yeah, just a simple C9.
What is that, B flat?
The 7. It's when you say 9, it's automatically understood to be.
Why not the B? Why not the B? Since B is the 7.
When you do dominance, you don't have to say, if you say C7, it automatically assumes that the dominant is flatted, because if it's a natural, you have to say C major.
Okay.
So if I say C major now, if I wanted to, I have to say C major now.
That's the reason why you wanted me to go to school, right? Stop asking you.
No, because I'm glad you asked, because if you ask it, there's 100 people behind you.
Okay.
They don't know, but they won't tell you they don't know. That's the problem. They won't, because they too like, I already know that. I'm like, no, bro, come on. Because in the world, if you say C9, do they know that the 7 is already there? If it's an E flat here.
Hold on, because you lost me again. That the 7, you saying the B flat?
Yeah.
Not the B?
Yeah.
Because what scale are we looking for? Are we looking for the major scale, or what are we looking at?
What we're on is a dominant chord.
Oh, okay.
A dominant 7 chord.
Okay.
And that's the one that you use to make some Lydian on.
That's F major scale.
Yes, starting on C.
Starting on C.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
Well, that's a lot. You said you lost about 50 people in your life. All right.
Okay. Okay. All right.
So it's a C7.
All right.
And all I want you to do is take it up by half steps. Half step. Half step. Half step. Half step. Half step. Now don't do it so fast. I'm doing it faster than I want you to do it. Because if you can go up an octave.
So what scale is a dominant chord built on?
It's built on the root. So it's a C. This is a C.
So what scale is that built on?
It's built off the Mixolydian.
Oh, Mixolydian. Okay, you just told me that.
Yeah.
C Mixolydian. And what book is that in?
Book 2.
Book 2.
Book 2. And every one of them has, I did in every key. I gave you the Mixolydian, I gave you the super low key, and I gave you
Gay.
the blues.
Y'all heard him. He
I
gave
gave you
it.
harmonic minor too.
Yeah.
Those are the four I pick on most. And so, but I get too deep because see, some people get deep. It's like in the Bible. Sometimes you talk about the Bible and they try to go deeper in the scripture. I don't try to go no deeper than to understand because anybody who said they know it all, I get nervous.
Right.
Anybody who said they know it all, I get nervous because the more I learn, the more I realize I don't know. Mm-hmm. But what I can transfer to you, what I do have. So if you like what I'm doing, I try to make that where you feel good about it.
So what 2 ways do you recommend? What do people do to get better? I know practice, but what do they practice?
Okay, so
can you practice on songs you already know?
Yes, you can. But here that's a great question. I'm glad you asked.
But what are you practicing?
We need a 2-hour session, you know that. But here's the thing. If you're a level 1 and you play at every praise, it's C, because that's in book 3. Every word of worship with one accord. Every praise. 5, back to 1, right? If you can understand that I can walk down 1, 7, 6, 6, 5, 4, you moved a little bit ahead of the game instead of just staying on 1 and 6 and 4. Now, when you get into then I introduced this in book 3. Well, if I know that 1, 7, 3, 6 will give me the 6, all of a sudden now I've opened up. So now I may just work on a simple song like Every Praise, but add what I'm giving you in book 3, the 7, 3, 6. And you might do, this is in the step down. You might put that in the middle of Every Praise. Now, does it go in there naturally? Not all the time, but it'll make your music come alive to the audience, and they will enjoy you better than you just sitting on the 4 and the 5. Now, try not to use the transposer. Do the same thing as C sharp. 7, 3, 6. That's how you get better. 6. Take that around all 12 keys and then call me.
Okay, one more question. And they said, what do you study to expand your plan past Sunday morning?
So I would study what's in book 2. What I tried to do in book 2 is give you 3 levels of, for example, chords into all 12 keys. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 1. Then I give you level 2. 1, 2, that expands. So I would get book 2 and try to learn. And then I gave level 3. So I was expanding, almost like this keyboard. Look at my left hand where I'm doing 1, 5. That's a
big expand.
Yeah. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 1, right? And then I did, particularly when we get to 3, 6, 2, 5, 1. Then I'm trying to stick these songs in chords, you see? So I'm not just saying just go, because sometimes people get bored just doing that. Like, why do I need to keep doing 1, 2, 3, 4? But when, like I did for 7, 3, 6, for example, I gave you an expanded 7, 3, 6, 2, 5, 1, 4. Right? That's a lot. 7, 3, 6, 2, 5, 1, 4. But if you want to get there, then that'll do it. But don't spend so much time on that you don't put it in a song. If you're playing Total Praise, if you're playing L.A.W, give you praise, if you're playing Grateful, go to those keys, learn those chords, and then call me and say I give lessons. So I can do it over the phone. I can be on the highway, and you call me. I can tell you the notes that you need to be playing, and then do it over and over. There's no shorter thing. It's like Steph Curry shooting free throws. How many does he shoot a day? They said Kobe shot 300 or 400 a day. Some guys feel good if they shoot 50. How good do you want to do? Junior's so good because while y'all sleeping and while y'all out having a good time, he here working in the key of E and B, making me mad. And then when I have to play, then I mess up. He said, Jackson, and let's try this 3, 6, 2, 5, 1 again.
Boy, come on.
You're in the key of A. No, I'm saying he'll help me. I'm saying you determine how good you want to be and how quickly you want to get there. But there's no shortcut to you practicing over and over and over and over. Then that's why I'm working these chords through Christmas music, and I have about 48 more hours. After Monday, you're probably not going to want to hear the chest. very quickly. So then I'll be working on something else. But I like to either do it through hymns. I like to do it through, it can be shout music. Church. All of these concepts work. It's just sometimes they go faster than others. The runs work. The scales work. The blues scales work. All of those. And it just set yourself a realistic goal of a little bit every day, a little bit every week, and I promise you'll get there. Thank y'all so much. I did longer than I planned.
Yeah, I know we did, but we got 5 minutes, and I know I know you the doctor. But just I know you got to go. But just play "Great Is Thy Faithfulness," and what I want from this, I want all the mixolydian, all the harmonic, or whatever it is. Yeah, I mean, because it's all in there. Just it shows just no explaining, just play. Yeah.